Hey guys, Bill here with World Made Simple, and today we're going to go ahead and do a follow-up to our defensive geography video and start talking about water features, specifically fresh and saltwater features found in a nation and their benefits and downsides. So the benefits for water, at least in my opinion and from what I've seen, far outweigh the downsides in almost every instance. So when it comes to water, there's a couple different variations. We're going to start with fresh. The fresh water that we have on this planet comes from either rivers and lakes, meltwater from glaciers, or groundwater. So you kind of have four different places you can get the water from. The majority of the water we use comes from rivers, lakes, and streams. So direct service features, although there is a lot of groundwater pulled depending on the area you live in. However, it's mainly the service features we're going to be talking about. So lakes and rivers offer great defensive boundaries. In fact, many of the borders in Europe follow river boundaries. I mean, you have the Rhine River, which is a huge one, and you have other rivers that go through areas such as the Danube and such as the Volga that have a huge impact on the nation. And the reason that they have massive impacts is because of the fact that rivers and lakes and the ocean, for that matter, are all actually free infrastructure. It's a highway that we don't have to pay to maintain. And this is seen nowhere better than here in the United States. We have the Mississippi River Delta and the Mississippi River as a whole, as well as all of the tributaries or feeder rivers that flow into it. The Mississippi River is surrounded by a host of other rivers, all which flow into it. And that means that if you have access to the Mississippi, you have access to all these other water points. That also means that if you have a boat, you can get to roughly 70% of the United States population just by using one river. That's insane. That also means that all of the trade is extremely cheap because you don't have to pay to maintain the river. You don't have to pay to use the river. You just go on and off it. That's it. It's the world's cheapest highway system, and we have it for free. So there's that factor. In terms of the oceans, the only downside to oceans is going to be the isolation value. In terms of if you are an island nation, the ocean is a great highway that you don't have to pay for, but it also isolates you from any of that trade. So you have to pay money for pretty much anything you want. If you're not an island nation, United States, Britain, France, any of the great naval powers, the ocean is your greatest asset because it allows you to go ahead and project power way beyond your borders, way beyond your boundaries, as long as you have the funds in the military to do so. So you got trade, and as welcome out last time, you got defense. Great for both accounts. There's one other water feature which is really important, especially in the modern era, and that's called the deep water port. A deep water port is a naturally occurring open ocean area that you don't really have to maintain. You don't have to dig all the sand, silt, sediment, rocks out of the area on a yearly basis. It's just usually super deep. This is usually pretty rare across most of the world, except the United States. Almost every single one of our trade ports is a deep water port. New York City, Los Angeles, Houston, all are open deep water ports. So we have a lot of easy trade thanks to that. This is why water features are among some of the most sought after features for any nation. If you have access to the ocean or a river, you can basically have access to free trade without payment. So that's it for the water-based features. Our next video, we're going to go into arable land, being farmland, and move on to our next segment for geography, right? Take it easy, guys.